Okay, and now let's take a look at a case study in another key vertical, and that is education. Please welcome from Motorola Solutions, Director of North American Strategy, Paul Cizik, and from SchoolSafe, Director of Marketing and Training, Tori Tucker.
How's it going?
Tori, how are you? Paul, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. I'm really excited to be hearing about this program. Paul, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about the kinds of solutions that Motorola is providing for the education market.
Sure, Greg. Well, the education market and customers are extremely important to Motorola Solutions and to our channel partners. You know, they are truly at the heart of all of our communities. And we at Motorola have been serving the education market and customers for many, many years with our radio solutions products. And we continue, you know, with our Astro 25 mission-critical data radio for higher education, our Moto Turbo Digital Professional Series radio portfolio for higher education and K through 12 customers, and even our entry and commercial tier digital and analog radios as well. And now we have the SchoolSafe solution, as well as wireless LAN and other capabilities to continue to enhance safety initiatives that they have, e-learning, and other solutions that they're looking for.
SchoolSafe, I've been reading up on this, and it's an incredibly exciting program, and maybe I'm so fascinated by it and glad you have it because I've got a high schooler and a middle schooler, sure, both in public school. So tell us a little bit more about SchoolSafe and how it complements and builds the solutions that you just mentioned.
Oh, this is great. The SchoolSafe solution is really compatible with our portfolio. This solution will integrate with the radio systems and products that the customers already have in their operations today. And we know that in the education market, of course, they're constantly under budget pressures, and now we can bring additional value to them at a very cost-effective, price, and this will give them collaborative communications and even interoperability with first responders. So it's a tremendous opportunity for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Tori, can you please tell us a little bit more about SchoolSafe Solutions specifically? I know that's your baby, and tell us about it. Yeah, well, I could talk all day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So SchoolSafe on a top level does, as Paul mentioned, provide interoperability between schools and public safety first responders. Mm-hmm. So three main components go into it. First, you have the actual hardware, and then you have the software, and then the third component is the training. The actual hardware goes into each school, and the hardware, with the hardware, you have to make sure that the school has licensed radio. So if we come into a district, we have to make sure that everyone has the licensed radio, whether it be CP200s or Moto Turbo, however that works. And then from there, we make sure that their coverage is great, that they can work really well with their local area network, essentially. Then from there, we also have the software that goes into a dispatch center, and the dispatchers control if public safety is bridged at the school. So for example, if a girl was to be hit at the front of the school during the very, very busy time of drop-off or pickup, the school safety team would be able to work really well within their radio usage and get the best 911 call to where they would call the dispatcher, and the dispatcher would electively choose to bridge SchoolSafe to where they would be able to speak to first responders. We're a little different in that we have the selectability of different schools. So if there was a tornado or another natural event, the dispatcher could choose different schools and bridge those schools together to tell them to shelter in place or whatever it may be. Once the incident's over, then they go back to their normal day-to-day operational usage, and it's not interfering with their normal day-to-day channels. The third part is training, and the training part is pretty extensive because you have to make sure that the schools work really well together and that they are able to speak succinctly and clearly. Yes. And then we have to also work with the boots on the ground, essentially with all the guys and ladies who are working so well and making sure that they understand that there's a mutual aid channel typically that they can speak to the schools directly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but how do first responders feel about having school personnel on their public safety network? Does that cause any problems?
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, at first there's a little bit of apprehension,
yeah,
as you would think, but over time they start to understand that, dispatchers control that public safety bridge. They are the ones who are able to activate the bridge and make sure it's operational and that everyone is responding the best they possibly can. So that control is very, very important. And then I mean, it goes back to the training, because with our curriculum, you know, that mission critical response and making sure that that instant communication, the teachers, the safety team, it's administrators, it's secretaries, kind of the key personnel who make sure everyone's ready to go and can get the best information to get the best treatment and get the best time response possible.
Now, I know SchoolSafe has been getting some just amazing press, so let's watch a report that was recently aired on the local Chardon, Ohio news station.
Just last week, the community remembered a dark day, 2 years since the school shootings in Chardon. Now, a week later, a new effort to tighten up school security. Laura DiMaria shows us.
Emergency, emergency, emergency.
Practicing for a real scenario.
You have a student down involving a school bus on its side, appears to be fully occupied.
It's called SchoolSafe. Now, teachers from 10 Chardon schools and first responders together learn how they will respond with new radio communication with each other.
Let's say there's an injury in the school in a gym class or something like that, and we're able to direct first responders to the most appropriate door to enter in the school.
This new technology helps bridge the gap between administrators and teachers in the school with this radio directly to police, ambulance, and fire, like in their trucks, right up there. No more middleman, no phone call to dispatch. The responder will hear straight from the witness about the emergency.
So that when they arrive on scene, we're assured that the appropriate resources are being brought to students, staff, or community members.
It all seems very timely, just after the 2-year anniversary of the Chardon school shooting. But both sides of the collaborative effort between Chardon schools and Motorola say no relation to the shooting, simply a strong connection between Chardon schools, Motorola, and SchoolSafe.
They know each other, they have a relationship. So for Motorola, that's kind of the model that we would like to go out and talk to other school districts about.
In this collaboration, Chardon schools and students, the big winners. Motorola says this donation of 250 radios, training, and time is worth about $200,000. Laura DiMaria, 19 Action News.
Can't get much better than that, huh? Don't you think? Yeah. Great report. You know, customers love this innovative offering, and let's hear from them right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Superintendent Dr. Michael P. Hanlon and Police Lieutenant Gary M. Gribbins of Geauga County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome.
How are you? Good to see you. Lieutenant, how are you?
Good.
To see you. Have a seat. Dr. Hanlon, I want to start with you. Do you only use the SchoolSafe's radios to talk to first responders during an emergency?
No, actually, the solution has become an integral part of the district operations already. Our daily operational teams comprised of custodians, administrators, all the personnel that are not assigned directly to instruction are using the system for day-to-day operations of our building. Everything from maintenance and upkeep of the facility to logistics within the school. In addition, we have the ability at our desktop end to connect and bridge particular schools together when there's a need that does not require the support of first responders.
Okay, and I understand that Chardon schools recently went through the last phase of the SchoolSafe implementation, and that's interoperability training. How'd that go?
It went very, very well. First off, in Chardon, we have an excellent working relationship with law enforcement and all of our first responders. In this particular session, we had over 100 participants comprised of school personnel, first responders, and some of the things that we learned, and it was very valuable in working with the first responders, where they trained our school personnel about how to use the radios more effectively. That's something that educators don't get a regular experience with, and so it was very helpful for us to go through scenarios to determine the information that they wanted to receive and how they wanted to receive it, and overall it helped really improve our utilization of the system.
Mm-hmm. And what would you tell leaders of other school districts about SchoolSafe and the success you've had with it? Well,
Certainly, the safety and security of all of the students and staff in our nation's schools is the #1 priority that we have. And this is a solution that has been very effectively implemented in our district. I would also say that one of the important steps in this process is for the schools to organize these safety and security incident response teams, if you will, and to provide the appropriate training for those school personnel to implement the system effectively and link it into the school's safety plans. School Safe has already become, even in the short time that we've had it in place in our district, it's rapidly becoming a foundation building block of our safety and security plan in Chardon schools.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like just good organization is really, is really the key here, okay? Lieutenant Gribbins, let me turn to you here. Now, how do the first responders in your community, how do they feel about the School Safe solution?
The first responders are obviously very excited of the implementation of School Safe. It's a very good tool that we're going to use. Most of the emergencies that we respond to are very time sensitive and critical. The ability for the school personnel to provide instantaneous information to us about what's going on at the school,
sure.
That's going to make the difference between success and failure in how we respond. Mm-hmm. No matter the type of emergency that we're responding to, for somebody to provide accurate, timely information, it's going to often times affect how we respond and give us a more complete and rapid response to the emergency.
Okay, very good. Now, how will you keep the school staff trained on School Safe solutions? Because, I mean, every fall, just like any district, every fall new teachers come into the Chardon district. So how will you train new teachers, new administrators, anybody?
Okay, well, we're working hand in hand with the school district, with Dr. Hanlon and his staff. My staff's a big part of the plan, very committed to the training, work with the Motorola shop, the School Safe people. They're going to create the procedures, help us with training curriculum, and we'll go forward with that. The box that they use, the technology tower, it's almost like a training exercise in itself, where we will test that on a very frequent basis, and that's going to keep everybody sharp and familiar with the system. The School Safe uses a 360 model, they call it. It's a train-the-trainer format. They record the audio, the video of the training sessions, and then they produce their learning modules from that. And we'll use those modules to perform our annual training with our people. And it's very similar to the preventive maintenance that we use on the radio system. So we look forward to the training and continuing the system with the school district.
I'd add to one of the experiences that we've had since the system implementation is that schools go through regular drills, fire drills, sure. Lockdown drills, all the kinds of activities that we go through. And we've now been layering scenarios in that have been using School Safe, and we've been drilling school personnel on the effective use of this. So when we look at new staff coming into the school district, they're going to see this on a regular basis. It's not something that we're testing once a year to see if the radios work. We're literally layering in real-life scenarios for school personnel to respond to and to gain that experience, so when the time comes, we'll be prepared to implement the solution.
Smart. Tori?
And it just goes to show the invaluable, our channel partner in Chardon, Samantha Spalding with Communications Service, was instrumental with this whole application and making sure it got going. So it just goes to show that those relationships that you have with your public safety personnel, with your school districts, I mean, it just makes the process go so much more smoothly, and we very much appreciate Samantha. Thanks, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Well, you have a hot product here, Paul. Can all of the Motorola Solutions radio dealers, can they all sell this solution?
So they certainly can, and we're working very close with the School Safe team, Patrick Hobby, and Dave Petty, as well as Tori and the rest of the group. We're going to continue to find ways to make it even easier for our channel partners to be able to sell the School Safe solution and help them out with that.
Right.
And so again, this is a tremendous opportunity. This has a lot of differentiation that it offers, and as you've already heard, it goes well beyond just the technology, but it's also a kind of a safety curriculum that just changes everybody's opportunities and makes them more efficient and effective in what they can do. So.
Outstanding. Well, it sounds like great advice. Thanks so much for joining us and for letting everybody know about what a terrific solution this is. So let's give one more round of thanks to our special guests. Thank you.